5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How's it going, everybody? Did somebody fire that
What's
up again?
going on? Well, I don't know what's
I
happening.
didn't touch nothing.
Technical difficulties, everybody.
technical
Thank you for how's it going? Thanks for joining us on another edition of the Skol Experience. Dave is back from his vacation, so let's start out there. Dave, how was the
Bonsoir,
trip?
everyone?
How was the
Bonsoir.
How was the trip? Are you happy to be back?
Definitely.
Let us, yeah.
Sleep.
Nice to get away.
How long have
Two
you been back
steps.
for?
I slept on the floor of the JFK airport, and so I got in yesterday morning at 6:30.
Yuck.
Or no, 9:30 a.m.
Dang.
Yeah, JetBlue sucks. F JetBlue.
Hey, we got our guy
What's going on,
Gary
Gary?
in the
How are you?
building. What up, Gary?
But yeah, so first off, though, got to start here. Beautiful, beautiful day in the great state of Minnesota. 53 degrees today hit. 53 degrees at last day of January in Minnesota. What in the world is going on here? But it was fantastic.
I don't know.
It was beautiful. First sunshine.
I've been paying my carbon tax, so it's probably working.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what. If this is global warming, I'm all for it. I'm kidding. But yeah, no, it's been absolutely beautiful day. Sun shining, all that type of stuff. And the sun is shining on the future of the Minnesota Vikings. And that's what we're here to talk about today, because we don't need to watch the Packers or the Lions play in the Super Bowl. That's good thing number one. And good thing number two is it's going to be a very fun offseason for the Minnesota Vikings. We're almost there. We're almost there, boys. 2 more weeks. We're a week and a half at this point. And it's officially the offseason.
Dude, let's go.
Yeah, I can't wait till the Super Bowl's over.
Yeah, I haven't talked to you, Dave. Like, what was your thoughts on this weekend for the playoffs this past weekend?
Well, because my plane didn't take off, or because I got stuck in security and I missed my plane. JetBlue sucks. Anyways, I got to see the game. It was the Lions game, and I was pretty freaking happy. I was like, they're gonna come back. They're gonna come back, and they sure as hell did.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
So me and Jamie talked about this because Dan Campbell coming into the season, I wanted to know if Dan Campbell would be Dan Campbell when it got to be crunch time. And if there's one thing Dan Campbell proved to me is that he will always be the guy who's just going to go for it and go for the throat every time, whether it's good or whether it's bad. This last game came back to bite him, passed up on 2 field goal opportunities. One of them, which again, neither of them give me field goals, but one of them would have put him up by 3 possessions. The other one would have tied the game with little time left. So
what a pat
Dan Campbell lived and died by the sword of being aggressive.
I had like a little Twitter thing going with this dude because I posted about how I would both of those kicks I would kick one because you're going up by 3 scores, and the other one you got to tie the game. You know, there's not much time left, right? Mm-hmm. And the guy goes, "Well, he historically is bad at kicking of over 48 yards or whatever." I said, "Well, the first one's 45." So next argument. And I said, well, he's like 11 for 15 the last 2 years. The only problem is Dan Campbell hasn't let him kick. What great coaching strategy to not challenge your kicker during the year and have him available in the NFC title game. He was a stellar kicker last year. Mm-hmm. He was 2 for 3 for him over 50 last year. And he gets one kick over like 40 yards this entire year. I'm like, way to plan ahead, man. If that's the reason, if he didn't have faith in his kicker, I'm like, that, that's on him. That is absolutely on him. You got to go up 3 scores, man.
Dude, that's almost worse than not going for the tie. Like not going for the tie is pretty bad. All right, I get it. Like you want to go for the win, even though that's the one spot. That's the one thing about that though, is that if there was so much time on the clock. So even if you went and scored a touchdown, it wasn't like they had plenty of time to go down and score themselves. Whatever. It'd been a lot different if like the game, if you're going to call game right there. But but to not go up 3
Go down 2
possessions.
scores.
Yeah,
Instead of 1, right?
What's that?
Well, because if they kick off, then they go down and score a touchdown. You're only down 1 score.
Speaking that too, so that was crazy. Hey, we got Skol fan 123 in the building. What's going on? Our Vikings fan 123. What's going on, Vikings fan? And we got our guy AJ in the building. What up, AJ? Is anyone else? Hey, there we go. Welcome back, Dave. Vikings fan 123.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. I feel better that I'm in America. America.
But yeah, not going up 3 possessions was crazy to me. Like, I don't know. That didn't make any sense.
Someone made a good point. Is psychologically 3 scores. It's just middle of the third quarter.
It's just at that, like, you were allowing an underachieving, explosive 49ers offense, underachieving in that game.
Their quarterback's throwing picks.
Right. And you're giving them momentum and you're giving them more opportunities to figure it out instead of just putting the gas down, which, I mean, Dan Campbell's idea is put the pedal to the metal by trying to get the first down instead of kick the field goal. But going up by 3 scores against an offense that was already struggling, like, that's debilitating for a team like that, right? So you gave a team with that many explosive weapons, and we've talked about this before with the Vikings, like back when they played the Chiefs. Like, if you make those type of mistakes and you give that the other team more offensive possessions when they're down by less points, like that 49ers offense, they're eventually going to figure it out. And guess what? That 49ers offense figured it out. Now, did Brock Purdy get a little lucky on the bouncing off the face mask and Brandon Ayuk coming down with the catch? Sure. But I mean, I don't know. I just didn't agree with his philosophy there. Like, I respect that Dan Campbell was Dan Campbell, but going up by 3 scores and you gave an explosive offense more opportunity to hurt you. And that's exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate him doing that, but I don't agree with it. I mean, I agree with certain cases. Like, I thought, like, when we were playing San Francisco earlier this year, all of a sudden we went super conservative on 4th downs, right? We, instead of trying to go for it or whatever, like, in no man's land, we decided to kick the field goal instead. When we felt like, hey, if we go down, if we move the ball a little more, or we go down and score a touchdown, we're going to put these guys away. And that's the way we felt against San Francisco. But this wasn't the case, man. They were up by 2 touchdowns. They're at the 28-yard line. Kick the field goal.
Yeah, dude, for real. One thing. Hey, what up, Sullivan? Sullivan's in the building. The Lions are going to Lions. The Inner City Kitties choke again. Dude, I mean, that's why, like, you felt like that comeback was about to happen just because it just makes too much sense for the Lions. Like, you let them get this far, you're going to have to break their hearts. And that's exactly what happened. You kind of felt for them for a little bit, but not too much. Yeah, Sarah knows what I'm about to do here. Another show, another card. We got a Jordan Addison rookie. Get that hashtag Skol in the comment, like the video, and subscribe to Minnesota Sports Talk. Like you see, instead of doing these simul streamcasts, we're switching off each other's channels every other week or whatever. So we're going to just continue doing that. But the same rules apply. Get those hashtag Skols for your chance to win the Jordan Addison rookie card.
I love the new word you came up with there. Simul streamcast.
I like that. Simul streamcast. So I was going to go back to another play that was extremely dumb in my opinion. And it was the run at the end of the game for, what was it, third down,
yep,
like a minute left, 3rd and 1, and you decide to run when you have 3 timeouts. When if you score a touchdown, you would have had enough timeouts to get them 3 and out and still have like 30 seconds on the clock to go down and try to kick a field goal. And then you run the ball and you call timeout, and it made it so like your only option is to do the onside kick. That was another extremely stupid play there, and I don't know. I don't even think you can
That's
argue
probably
that
why
one.
he took himself out of the running for the Seahawks and
the Seahawks and Commanders jobs. How's it going, man? But yeah, and that's kind of what they were saying during the broadcast too. They said, like, you can run the ball here, but if you're gonna run, you need to score. Like, there's no, like, because that's exactly what Greg Olsen said. If you don't score, you force yourself into a scenario where you have to use your timeout and you have to use the onside kick. So yeah, it was just, I don't know. It's just one of those things. And I agree with Sarah. Like, when you're too arrogant or, just too set in your ways to divert from that, even the littlest bit, just to put yourself up 3 scores or just to tie the game, like, yeah, you deserve to lose there.
Maybe
So-
they were trying to kneecap him.
Hey, maybe. You never know.
Yeah.
It could be.
Or
Even
a
though
chunk out of him.
what's his name got injured. I think he probably came. I think he came back. Joseph.
Kirby.
Joseph. Yeah.
Well, that guy trying to stomp on Purdy's knee.
Brian Branch, yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, that was Branch.
Yeah,
that was Branch. Man, I liked Branch. Yeah, I don't know. So that's obviously, and they end up losing. So I mean, we're all the Vikings franchise, integrity and everything. We're safe. So the other game we kind of tapped on it on our show on Monday, but I mean, Taylor Swift Super Bowl. How does that make you feel, Dave? Is that what you wanted to see?
More Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah.
Pfizer's making bank probably out of this. We got, and I heard the NFL's got it made them like $360 million or something like that. The fact that Taylor became his girlfriend.
And that's not anything yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be even bigger now that the Super Bowl's here. Watch her come out, do a set in the halftime show or something. Holy crap!
That's because I know I think we made a joke last.
It's definitely gonna be the most watched Super Bowl ever.
Yeah, and Usher. That's what we were talking about. It's like Usher's the halftime show, and you spend your whole life trying.
I didn't know Usher was still alive.
I know, dude. That's where they kind of have been going after some because who was it last year?
He was in the movie 10 Things
It was
I Hate
Rihanna
About
last
You.
year. So Rihanna was just pregnant, I guess.
Was it Rihanna last year?
I think hers was last year, right? And she was pregnant, I think.
I thought that was 2 years ago.
Was it? It could have been. Who knows? It's all unless we're there.
Which one was where 50 Cent was in? And
that was good. That was with
Dogg.
Eminem and
Yeah, Jimmy, you're right. It was Rihanna last year.
It was last year.
The Dr. Dre one. I think that was just a year before.
Oh yeah, wasn't Rihanna up on those platforms that looked very much like Super Smash Bros. And that was kind of the meme.
The thing, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But no, that's the funny thing though. Is for Usher, especially. I mean, you haven't really heard much about him, but he gets a halftime show or whatever, and it's still gonna be all about Taylor Swift.
Absolutely, man. That would be awesome. But it's never gonna happen.
Were they struggling to find acts that they got Usher?
Yeah,
that's what I'm wondering. I mean, he had his time. I mean, there was a time. There was Usher.
Yeah.
I was just saying that I saw him in the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, and they had a dance off. I think it was 10 Things I Hate About You.
I Hate About You.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Is 10 Things I Hate About You with what's his name? Joker?
The guy that played the Joker.
Yeah.
That was his first movie. That was his breakout movie.
Oh yeah, I grew up with only sisters, so I've pretty much seen all those classic rom-coms.
Mean Girls.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen Mean Girls a million times. Anyways, obviously Kansas City Chiefs versus 49ers. Our boy Adam's in here. He dropped us some money on our last show, so I told him I would officially start rooting for the 49ers, and then Casey doesn't have a choice either. So Dave, who you got in this Super Bowl? Who do you want to see win, and who do you think is going to win?
Well, here's the deal. This is my philosophy. I don't want any team because these two teams have won Super Bowls and actually prolifically, at least recently for the Chiefs. I don't, before this happens, I do not root for a team that has not won a Super Bowl. I do not want any more teams winning Super Bowls. So when Atlanta gave up that comeback, I was fucking ecstatic. I was pissed off when the Eagles won. This game really don't really care. So I'm going to lean on this. When you win the Super Bowl, all your players start to go want to get that bag. They go try to be free agents somewhere else. So that, if they have any free agents, I'm like, let San Francisco win. So all their guys go to other teams and they're not as good. That's what I'm kind of, or a guy like Trent Williams retires or something to that effect.
Probably. Yeah, we'd prefer it to be the 49ers then, right?
Right. I would prefer 49ers have all these guys get fat and lazy after they won a Super Bowl. Right. I'd prefer that.
Well, especially since we know that it doesn't matter for the Kansas City Chiefs because they're going to go back.
It don't matter to us if the Chiefs win. We don't play them.
No, not in the unless
Except
it's
in the
in
Super Bowl next year.
yeah, which
Right.
honestly would if they win again this year, then we're dealing with just it's literally the Patriots all over again, and then it's like then you don't want to see them in the Super Bowl because obviously they've been
I was a
in-
low key Joe Montana fan too back in the day. So
yeah,
don't
I
know.
missed Montana,
I
but
had a
was-
soft spot for the 49ers. Even in '87, it's pretty cool that we got Joe Montana benched in that game. But
right.
yeah, I always had a soft spot for Joe Montana, Roger Craig, and he was a
Yeah, he was
Viking.
good. He was like the OG Tom Brady, dude.
And I
one
found
thing,
out Jerry Rice used Stickum, and now I think Moss is the goat.
number
to me.
one. Yeah, dude, 100%. One thing I want to hit on here, Gary says, "Give me some Boston halftime show." One funny thing is, the hospital Shelby works at is like a really good hospital or whatever in Boston, and they got like and I didn't know this, but they have like VIP floors there where people pay a ton, like famous people pay a ton of money to like be taken care of in this VIP sections, which are like super nice. And she did like a float there or whatever, and the lead singer of Boston was actually in there.
Really?
And then he ended up,
He's in pretty rough shape, isn't he?
I don't know specifics. I'm not allowed to find out the specifics, but
true,
yeah. But yeah, he was up there. I mean, I think he like left and stuff, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's not too bad, but yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Give me an AC/DC.
Sounds very
Right?
I would dig some AC/DC up there.
Oh, dude, that would be.
I love
sweet.
Prince. I still call it the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, I would agree.
A bit suspicious. I know we were
He asked
talking
him,
about.
hey, sorry about the rain. He asked, can you turn it up, like something to that effect? And there's a documentary on it,
Yeah.
and he was like, asked him, hey, can you make it rain harder?
Right. All right.
And he had a
So
big phallic guitar.
So we
Anyways.
have talked enough about we talked about the quarterbacks in the
Okay.
Super Bowl.
let's talk
I'm a
about
Katy Perry halftime show guy.
Katy Perry was pretty good.
I guess it was pretty well done, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What was the Katy Perry thing? Left Shark? Was that her?
Yeah,
That whole meme with the weird dancing.
one of the sharks. I think it was
Yeah.
Left Shark.
Yeah.
There was a last minute, hey, could you put the suit on? And they didn't know the moves. It's just kind of, you know,
Who knows?
That'd be
Maybe,
huge.
maybe
that was like
Left-
everybody's Halloween costume. Next
Maybe
year.
Left Shark knew what he was doing. Maybe it was Right Shark that was doing it wrong this whole time.
One of them didn't.
Could have been. So anyways, talking about quarterbacks that you mentioned a little bit ago.
And here's where the show turns hostile. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the news from Dave's favorite source for information came out with saying that they heard directly from Kirk Cousins that he will only play for the Minnesota Vikings at $90 million a year, fully guaranteed. Dave, what's your thoughts on that situation?
What news source was that?
The Pioneer Press.
Oh, okay. So a guy, this was my favorite. The buzz is what is the buzz? That means guys sitting around talking about thinking what Kirk would take. There was no source. If they say sources close to or whatever, I will give it credence. But the buzz is, and then you got guys on Twitter going, Kirk wants $90 million, and like the Twitter journalists, wannabes like myself, will put it out there. I don't put out crap like that where it's where I am now changing it from the buzz is to Kirk wants $90 million. And I was like, yeah, you're passing on information from what a guy thinks. There was no source whatsoever, and they're tagging the guy in Twitter, and the guy hasn't tweeted in 2 years. So I'm like, how active is this guy? How with it is this guy? He's basic, if it comes to be true, I'll eat crow. But we all went through the last extension. Everybody was talking about it was going to be over $40 million. And what was it? It was 35.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a $2 million raise. And now we're talking about a guy with an Achilles injury that's 36 years old. So all of a sudden it's going to be $10 million more when we thought it was $10 million before, or we thought it was 40 something million before, and it didn't happen. So I don't put much. It went from Kirk wants to take a hometown discount to now he wants $90 million guaranteed over 2 years. And that is it's somewhere in there. It's somewhere in between. But yeah, I'm not.
Hey, what up?
If it's 45, I'm like, Yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, and like one of the things I thought was funny, was like for me, again, rumor, speculation. My thought was no matter like depending on which side of the Kirk argument you're on, you're gonna read the tweets and the speculation differently, and just try to, and that's just the way it works in general. But for me, until I see and here's the thing, you know, until I see a Rappaport or a Schefter or
that's my
Tom
point.
Pelissero, until I see one of those guys' name next to the report, and after this whole thing came out. Like you think normally if there was news one way or the other, they would have jumped right on it and said,
you got to know they heard that or saw that, right?
Right.
And then they went and researched it.
Yeah.
And they realized I'm not putting out that shit.
Right. So who knows? So I mean that's the thing. And that's the thing where I said I'm not gonna jump on Kirk for this idiot. He said hometown discount. All he wants is money. I'm not gonna jump on him like that because it's not fair until we actually know who said it. But also, it's like you said, if it is true, then it's like, all right, Kirk, you go find that money somewhere else because you ain't getting that. And when he signs for $40 million,
even my source guy, I quote because I don't put a whole lot of leverage on it. Puts out some sensational shit. Mm-hmm. He didn't even put that out.
Right.
He didn't even add that, and he talks about Kirk all the time. Mm-hmm. So he didn't even want to put that out.
Right. But then, like, it's funny. The day after all that comes out, the Vikings they post his highlight video. They post his highlight video on YouTube. They have put out an Instagram thing. I just thought it was kind of funny.
So yeah, I wanted to bring something up specifically. So I saw this before. I kind of let the rumors keep going, but so this is something that's kind of funny. Which actually, this is Will Ragetz with Sports Illustrated, but this is something that I was digging for it because I wanted to find out
the lines.
I looked at it too. I looked at trying to see, like, I saw his Twitter account. He was inactive in like 2 years, so I did look at.
Are you talking about that Charlie?
The Charlie thing. So this is something I did find for that. I think
I couldn't even find the article or video or whatever.
So this is what I found when I was looking at it. Obviously, this is Sports Illustrated. You think Will Ragetz would come up with something that's not, kind of BS. But according to a report from veteran columnist Charlie Walter of St. Paul Pioneer Press, Kirk Cousins. So this is going to be the article, right? And then you click it, and it's an article about Joe Mauer. And there is nothing saying anything about Kirk Cousins in this article.
I told you, I couldn't find shit about it.
Yeah. So
where are they getting this?
That more than likely it is
his Twitter account.
Bullshit.
Well, what was Charlie Waters' Twitter account?
Which, I mean, obviously that guy.
The first thing I did.
Which that guy is a writer, so I mean, he technically doesn't need a Twitter account, but yeah, I did the same thing because I was hoping to.
Well, they're tagging him on it like he is. They made it. People were putting credibility and added. They mentioned him. They put at and put his Twitter handle on it, and the first thing I did was clicked on their Twitter handle. And he hasn't tweeted in 2 years.
Justin's in the building. We got Vocal Vike. We got Skol State of Mind. We got Purple and Gold for Days.
He's got followers too.
Right, he does. Yeah, I know. I wonder why. I mean, I get it. Twitter can.
He hasn't tweeted in 2 years. That's all.
He must not be an Elon fan, probably.
Probably.
So anyway, so let's just pretend 45 million. Let's just say that's true, and Kirk Cousins is. We decide. I think we're all in agreement. If he actually wanted 45 million, we're saying no. Whatever.
It's a short conversation.
Yeah. What do we do next? What happens next if we decide Kirk Cousins walks, he goes somewhere else, gets paid 45 million, which isn't crazy. I wouldn't be super surprised if someone gave him, maybe not fully guaranteed, but a couple, like I wouldn't be very super surprised if another team did end up doing that felt like they really needed their quarterback.
I would think later in the year. I think later in the process. I don't think when free agency opens up.
Right. Hey, again, everybody.
I think we're the only hope for him to sign like before he's healed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yep. I kind of feel like that, but I don't know.
Jordan Addison rookie card. Hashtag Skols in the comments. Giveaway. Anyway, so what are we doing though? So what are we thinking? What happens?
Well, I have said this before that Kwesi better get up and get one of the guys I like. If you want to find out who that is, go to Minnesota Sports Talk and click on his most recent video.
Mm-hmm.
You better get that guy. So I'm okay. I am if he goes up and they get Drake May, I'm okay because the potential's there. But he's the Will Levis of this draft, I think. I think he's the most hyped dude out there that, he could go number 1. And I'm like, where was the production? Where was the production? And I'm like, and then I go look at his highlight videos. I'm like, yeah, great. And then I go look at the people doing QB breakdowns on him, and they start to show me this stuff where he starts fading to the area he wants to throw and actually takes himself into the pass rush. And I'm like, this guy has a lot of ability. And I'm like, and it's great. I think he could be good. He could be a Josh Allen. Josh Allen was rough coming out of college.
Right.
He wasn't accurate coming out of college. Drake May is probably that type of guy. He could fix his weird pocket presence where he's fading into the rush. Like he's actually taking himself into the oncoming rush to get what I think he thinks is a better angle in the throw. I don't know. But, size-wise, mobility might be hard to bring down. I would accept the fact that we went up and got a Drake May. The potential's there. Just like I thought we went up and got Anthony Richardson last year. I thought, there's just so much potential there. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
But, I'm Caleb Williams is I said that right? Caleb Williams?
Yep, Caleb Williams.
Yep. I want to say Cam all the time. Caleb Williams, totally legit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. He's Patrick Mahomes, but probably more athletic, right? The only part about him is I feel like he gets down on himself. And I'm throwing out the crying in the stands with his mom out. Just put that as an anomaly. The other stuff, the interviews after the game, the sitting on the sidelines moping if he's down, after they lose, and the team has to come over and rub his shoulders, and it's okay, man. He should be the guy doing that. So
right.
But again, he's overworld talent. But Jaden Daniels is. Holy shit. You throw in the production that he overcome like lows in his career to come and peaked at the right time, and just everything about him, man. I think the guy's going to be successful. I think he's a no miss.
Yeah. So, I
hope so, man. Even though there's a chance we're going to get what we call it honey dicked. I don't know if you know the definition of honey dicked. Pretty much when you get your hopes up and it gets destroyed or whatever.
So they all go top 3. And
I was rational in my video where I said I only think it's going to happen if one of those dudes falls to 4 or 5.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that for sure. But like the one small difference in opinion I have is I think with Drake May, I think he's more Justin Herbert than he is Josh Allen, and that's where I think the hype comes from. With obviously like you go back and you go back.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Like you go back and you look at Zach.
I was just saying about how in college he needed work. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's 100% accurate for sure. But because with him it comes to it's the size. He can move, and if you look at his arm talent, Drake May's arm talent is absolutely phenomenal. But yes, there's a lot of things you got to work on with him, and if people want to talk about quarterback that just wins, he doesn't. Like at no point in his time at Carolina were they like a powerhouse team or anything like that.
Yeah,
and like you look at
it's a smaller school for that.
Yeah, and it's all about it's all about the traits when it comes.
Carolina's a smaller school.
In college football.
I mean, they're not small. They're small.
It's smaller than even USC.
School.
It's smaller than
school.
It's a small school, compared to even Big Ten schools. Even if you put up North Carolina against the Gophers,
that's fair. Which they did play the Gophers and they beat them pretty handily. But anyway, but
they're just not known for their football.
Right.
Yeah. A small school for football. That's what
they've had those years where oh my God, look at the talent of Carolina. They've had those years.
Well, they had didn't they have? Well, it's like Duke. It's like Duke too.
They had Mitch Trubisky.
They got this.
It's like Duke
too. Mother F and Chandler.
Yeah, they still got. Yeah, there's some good talent that goes through there, but they're not they're not going to be going to a national championship or anything. At least anytime
they've had talent. They've fell short of expectations a lot.
Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, but it's all about traits. So, and that's why, and I think that's why that's why Drake May is so high up there, because it's like this guy could be Justin Herbert when he comes into the league. The arm talent, like all this type of stuff, he could be him. Like that's exactly why Zach Wilson went where he did, because like, man, he's got those Mahomes traits. He runs around, he makes things happen, and his arm is amazing. That's why Caleb Williams is so hyped right now. Like I think there's flaws in Caleb Williams' game. I think the one thing, if I had to knock one thing on Caleb Williams, I would knock his hero ball aspect, where sometimes, like you said, Dave, I think he's too hard on himself. And I think he gets to points like when his team isn't competing, he feels like he needs to make the big play and he doesn't just take what the defense gives him. And I think that puts him into bad situations. I don't think he has a ton of touch on his deep ball. He overthrows a lot when he tries to make those big plays. But like the reason that Caleb Williams is so hyped is because of Patrick Mahomes. Like this guy could be Patrick Mahomes, but better if he gets into the right scenario. So, and I think, but that's the reason why Drake May is so highly touted. It's not really because of what he's done yet. It's just he has those traits that he could be the next Justin Herbert, Josh Allen type quarterback. But I would say more Herbert. I do think he's going to be more of a pocket passing quarterback who can use his mobility when he needs to, but he just needs to get into the right coaching staff that can sculpt him to be that way.
I do like the Drake May is throwing off script, because he threw that left-handed ball. He threw that left-handed ball for a touchdown. That was pretty cool. And then he did a couple others. There's some highlights. So I do appreciate stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool. That's a Rodgers type of thing.
Right. Yeah. May is safe when it comes down to the Caleb Williams, Drake May. Like Drake May's kind of, he has that Richardson feel. Like, man, he has some flaws, but if you hit on him, you are going to have a generational prospect. Or like if you're sitting there and you're like, let's say you're a GM who's got the first pick and you're like, it's on you that you need to be competitive within the next 2 seasons. You're probably looking like, man, Drake May is so much more safe that if we get like, if we put him if we put him on a team with a good offensive coordinator, it's just, man, like he's going to be able to operate from within the pocket. He's going to be a much safer quarterback prospect. But if you feel like if you're a first year coach or whatever, and you're sitting there thinking like, man, we got some time here, you could like Caleb Williams is like the more you feel like the ceiling is a lot higher, but I feel like the floor is a lot lower than a Drake May.
Yeah, probably. And that's, I mean, that is a good point. And that's, I mean,
hold it. Clear that up. The floor is a lot higher.
I think Caleb Williams has a higher ceiling and lower floor than Drake.
Lower floor than Drake May.
Okay. Just saying that from like, because he's a pocket passer. He's not going to try to like go off script and things like that. But that's the thing with
Drake. You think that he's a bigger gamble?
Caleb Williams is the bigger gamble, is what he's saying.
But I mean, but the highs, man. Like I think the ceiling is like Drake May is could be a very good quarterback. It's just Williams just seems. I don't know. I just there's too many things that if he doesn't get into the right coaching staff, he's going to get in his own way too often.
Potentially, but he might not though either. Like it could be a chance, but the thing with him is, man, his just ability is insane. So that's why he's going to end up getting picked, because it is people are like, you.
Oh, right.
Like,
do
you want a Justin Herbert or do you want Patrick Mahomes?
Exactly. Yeah. But if it doesn't work out, then you're looking at another Zach Wilson, where he just
yeah, but even his floor is so much higher than Zach Wilson's. That's the thing, is I think Caleb Williams has a pretty good floor though. Like floor might
I was leaning towards disagreeing with that. I was wanting you to clarify. I don't think his floor
I wouldn't say his floor is low, but maybe
physically it's not
lower than Drake May, I think.
Yeah, as far as like you're talking about, like it's like comparing a Peyton Manning to, I'm trying to think of a good example of like a guy that would be more like Caleb Williams.
I thought what Drake May is like, if he goes to the wrong team that can't
Williams is overrated. You guys are dude. If you look at Caleb Williams, he definitely is doing things nobody has seen from a quarterback, like even in the NFL.
Look at Patrick Mahomes. They were afraid to take him top 10. The Chiefs had to trade up to what number? At pick 11? Did they grab him?
Yeah.
Like teams were afraid of
like that.
Teams 11, were afraid of Patrick Mahomes' game. Like, man, if he doesn't get into the right spot, this ain't gonna work. Like, there's a reason he wasn't.
Well, you're thinking of tech and the spread offense. And,
yeah.
You know.
But now there's a reason that you see those Patrick Mahomes-esque quarterbacks like the Zach Wilsons becoming top 1-2 picks, just because like if you can hit on the next Patrick Mahomes, it's a major hit. And there's a lot of people out there saying that the ceiling, that Caleb Williams' ceiling is higher than Patrick Mahomes, right? So I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Well, that's what I'm saying physically, but one thing Caleb Williams is not going to have is Andy Reid, right?
Exactly.
So it's like
exactly.
So that's where the thing goes, because I don't know if Pat Mahomes is as good if he didn't have Andy Reid
and a year to sit and learn from Alex Smith about how to be how to manage the game, which because that's Alex Smith says it himself. He's the best game manager.
Because I said isn't as good, it does not mean I think he's bad or would be terrible without Andy Reid. I'm just saying there was a difference. I mean, Josh Allen had to figure out when he lost Daboll. He was struggling. He struggled last year. Josh Allen struggled last year. No doubt about it.
He struggled this year at times too.
And he did a little bit this year, but he figured it out, right? So it's that's what I was talking about Drake May is if he goes to like a David Carr did back to in the Texans, if he goes to a situation where it's shit, right? I worry a little bit about Drake May. I think the eyes start to go down, start looking at the line instead of out in the field. And that's what I liked about Jaden Daniels, which you guys just don't want to talk about because you don't like him. I don't know why. You think
no, we like him. He's like the quarterback that we probably most likely have a chance out of the top three.
That dude has patience. He just doesn't take off running.
Yeah, no, he's a good pocket.
He doesn't take off running.
I've seen him throw with anticipation.
Yeah.
He has a strong arm. Yeah. And then he runs a 4.5, and he's shifty. He breaks ankles like crazy. He's not Michael Vick, but nobody else is either. Yeah. He might not even be Justin Fields, but he is close when it comes to running. I think he might even be just as good as Justin Fields running. I didn't know Justin Fields was that good at running in college. I did not know that. But this guy's 1,200 yards rushing, and they subtract sacks in college. They subtract sacks. He's got 1,200 yards, and he's one of how many guys that threw for 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. He got 10 running, 40 throwing. This is the craziest. I watched a game where he looked like he was struggling. I watched Alabama or every throw and run with Alabama. He was working his ass off, and I was impressed. It wasn't the best game of his life, but he threw a pick. It was a tip ball, but I mean, he was definitely a man among. He was a man on the field, especially in the run plays. He was gashing them.
Dude, he's good. He's good. Hey, everybody in here again, just like the hashtag Skol here, giving away Jordan Addison rookie card. Get the hashtag Skols in, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll give this away at the end of the show. But no, Jaden Daniels is a stud, and unlike I know Chi-Town Vikings Daniel is raw as fuck. The thing with that though is like, first off, Chi-Town is.
I would say Anthony Richardson was raw as fuck. I don't know about Daniels.
No, not in the same sense at all. And you gotta go. Sometimes I don't think you go for the safest guy all the time. Obviously, I mean, there's a lot of the best quarterbacks right now. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, like you mentioned, Patrick Mahomes. Like these guys were raw, whatever. And Daniels has shown me like this year, his throwing out of the pocket and his pocket presence was far better than I expected when I went back and watched his tape. Because the only people I've really watched so far, I haven't went deep into Drake May yet, so I don't really have a good opinion on him. But I've seen a lot of Jaden Daniels, and I've seen a lot of Caleb Williams.
You forgot his name. You've been holding his jock all year.
I know, and I still would, because he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good as long as he doesn't get in his own way, like Casey said, is from like if he ends up being a prima donna type of egotistic type of quarterback, and if all that kind of stuff is real, and he actually wants some stock into his team's.
So this is crazy.
Yeah,
this is what's so crazy. Jaden Daniels, his last 3-year completion percentages 65.4, 68.6, 72.2.
Dude,
this is an 11.7 average.
I just realized,
and it's a dude that's run over 1,000 yards. Why isn't there more being said about this guy?
I just realized something here, Dave. You and Rap,
because we don't want people to know about
have a show where you agree on which quarterback you want to be on the Vikings in 2024. Isn't that crazy?
Me and Rap. Yeah, we agreed last year too.
Yeah, you guys are
Yeah,
pretty.
but you guys
Because
do
he's not a Drake.
Anthony Richardson.
He's
We
not a
agree on
Drake
lot of
May
shit.
guy. He's not a Drake May guy either. I don't think.
Not me either.
And I haven't
We're
looked
both not
into him
Drake
yet.
May guys.
I don't really. I haven't
He's not a
looked into
Bo
Drake
Nix
May
guy.
yet.
I'm cool with Bo Nix.
I haven't looked enough into Bo Nix yet either.
I think he physically he looks like a pretty damn good football player.
And one thing I did
And
want
he's
to go back
definitely
and
put
touch
up
on.
the stats to prove it.
And
this
he's
year.
production's there.
I did want to go back and touch on Skol Mafia here, talking about Michael Penix. I like Michael
I like him
Penix
too.
well. And I watched. I mean, obviously, in the national championship game when it came to a big game and he had some pressure, he did miss some of the throws. But something that my dad and one of his friends pointed out, which I didn't really notice it, because I mean, obviously, I saw the deep ball accuracy he had in some of those games, and if you go watch his highlights, it is a lot of deep shots. And something that my dad brought up is like, I want to see him make some of those like slant route throws, which I mean, playing for the Vikings doesn't matter. We don't run those anyway, so he doesn't need to know those. He just needs to know 7-step drop, throw the ball deep. And if you do watch, he doesn't have a lot of that. And his throwing motion is kind of, him and Lamar Jackson kind of have a similar, where they throw from kind of a weird platform. He's lefty.
Are you talking?
It's because it's left-handed. That throws me off so bad.
I know
Watching a
that.
left-handed player.
Kind of like this.
It looks like he's throwing a fastball.
And he gets some balls batted. So you do got to wonder, like, can he make those like short throws? Are the balls going to get batted down a lot? So I do see where there are some issues with this game, but I also do like Michael Penix. I think the kid,
his arm talent is
his arm talent is phenomenal. The other things you can coach, and you just got to get him in the right situation to coach him. I do like Michael Penix, but yes, the injuries scare you. The fact that even in the title game, like I said, he didn't handle pressure very well, made some mistakes, and he did get dinged up a little bit in that game. So you do got, I mean, all that stuff does go into it, which is probably why I do think he will. I mean, I still feel like he's going to be a first-round pick. I feel like we're going to be surprised.
I think he's going to throw at the combine and look great.
Well,
I think he's going to be that guy that's great.
I guess I heard that him and Bo Nix struggled at the Senior Bowl, the first day at least. I don't know how they did.
Oh, they did? Oh, shoot. I forgot about that.
I don't know about that. I know Rap was teasing any Bo Nix fans out there because he like threw a bad pass.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is your QB1. Like, well, this is one pass. Yeah. I hope this makes him fall in the second round.
Yeah. If it means anything to anybody, Bo Nix lost to the Gophers in the Outback Bowl in 2019.
When he was 16 years old.
When he was playing with a Hubbard.
When he had a diaper. When he was wearing a diaper and a whoopee.
Right. But no, and that's the thing. So I do like Penix. If we ended up taking him, I don't know if
I'd want at 11.
I don't love him at 11, just with the injury history and stuff. And I do think, I don't know. I feel like he's probably going to be like a mid first round pick type guy. I think there will be a team that does take him.
Who makes us butt?
I think he will be the fourth. Right now, who knows? That's what I'm saying. Like after the combine everything gets shaken up from the combine, whether they should or not, it always does. So it'll be interesting to see what happens and how he throws. And, I'm sure you're going to get medical checks by all these players and people talking about his knees. You're going to get all that kind of stuff. And I could see Penix going there and just throwing really well. I'm assuming you're not going to see him run. And if he does, I mean, honestly, if he ends up doing the 40-yard dash and he ends up putting a decent number out there, I mean, that could change everything for him for sure. That would be like the biggest thing for him.
Let's say he doesn't run it. Does that mean he drops?
I want Rap's guys Joe Milton right now. I haven't checked him out yet. I'm gonna save him for when me and Rap do a video.
I lit a fire under Rap's butt this morning when I went to look at him. I had looked at him before, my former boss, before I got let go on January 3rd. Yay! Was a Tennessee Vols fan, and so I would look at him, occasionally, and then I'm like, okay, I'm about to do a video. Let me look at Joe Milton. And when I Googled it, his came up, and I watched the video and I saw him. He's a big fan of Milton. I'm like, hey, Rap, I get the feeling the same way I felt when I saw Richardson last year early in the draft process, right? Because the production wasn't there. They both have crazy ass strong arms. Like, holy shit, they got the strongest arm in the draft, I think. Like last year, I thought Richardson.
Joe Milton does have like a massive arm.
He's got a killer arm.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Like he throws it a country mile. He was rolling out to his left, damn near at the sideline, turns and throws it 60 yards downfield, hits the guy on the fly. I'm like, it could have been even farther. I don't know, but it was a fucking long ways. And yeah, he has a killer arm, and that's all they talk about in the highlights is just how impressed they are with his arm. But you could see it, you could see his arm just killer, and that's what I thought about Anthony Richardson last year. So early in the draft process, I feel like I felt about Anthony Richardson when I first saw him last year in the early draft process. Doesn't mean he's going to jump up because Richardson had the great combine and all that. I don't know if Joe Milton will. So
that's what's interesting about this year's draft, though, is there is like after like the main, like the top, what is it? Top 5, right? Yeah.
Well,
Top
you throw
6,
JJ
top
McCarthy
6.
and Bo Nix. That's 6.
Yeah, it's 6. So like the top 6, I guess, is like potential 6 first rounders. Probably I can't imagine any of those guys going past the second for sure. Probably early second at the very most. Right now, anyways.
My only concern would be JJ McCarthy because of how young he is.
Yeah,
and 2,000 yards.
He does,
it's like,
right.
I feel like he's gonna be one of those guys that's really going to impress in the interview process, though.
Yeah,
well,
the thing with him
that might be the case. And it might be a situation where they got a starter.
Yeah, he has that improvising thing, though. It seems like when the moments matter, he's like getting away out of the pocket and getting the first down when it matters, like that type of thing. He does well.
I was impressed with like his in-game. He looked like he played football.
Yeah, exactly. So he's an interesting one. I think I have to look into him even more. But like even after them, that's what's interesting about this, because you do have Jordan Travis, you do have Joe Milton, you have Spencer Rattler. Like there's like this whole.
I'm impressed with Rattler.
What's that?
Wasn't impressed with Rattler.
I didn't watch him. I watched some stuff actually prior to this year because he had tons of hype, and then he went to he finished at Arkansas, right? Oklahoma.
He started at Oklahoma ahead of Caleb Williams.
Yeah, right.
Then he's at South Carolina is where he finished.
Oh, that's what it was. But yeah, I mean, it's just like even past these first couple rounds, like there's just going to be some talent in this draft regardless.
Who's the other quarterback that
Notre Dame's quarterback?
No, Tune.
Oh yeah, and Tulane's. Yeah, I totally forgot about him.
Now some people are high on him.
Yeah, there's just a lot of talent in this draft.
Michael Pratt.
Yeah, Michael Pratt.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at him. I watched Notre Dame's quarterback today.
Player here.
Yeah,
I didn't put him on my list yet. I need to see more of him.
Of who?
Notre Dame's quarterback.
Who's that one?
He had some great. He had pretty good years at Wake Forest, like really good production at Wake Forest.
Sam Hartman.
Sam Hartman. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the guys I'm excited for. I'm excited for like next year. Though I'd like to see let's get our guy this year. I'm excited for Quinn Ewers next year. Excited to see what he can do.
Yeah.
I was liking the guy that for Washington State that he transferred to Miami.
Too many quarterbacks I got to look up here. I don't know who
I know.
He was expected to come out this year, but he decided to take a 5th year to Miami.
And then obviously, what's his name? Stand back.
I forget his name.
The Sanders. He isn't coming out this year.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Man, wasn't he on the hype train, huh?
Yeah, I mean, people had him in Jaden Daniels' spot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Michael Pratt. Oh, you guys already. I didn't see you guys do that.
Don't watch him. Don't waste your time.
Will depend on great O-line. Yeah, we'll kind of see. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I want obviously it's just for me. I want one of the top 3 guys who's Drake May. Again, I haven't looked into him myself, but so far,
and Travis from Florida State.
Yeah, Jordan Travis. Yeah, I mentioned
Cam Ward.
Oh, you did. Yeah.
Obviously injured.
Cam Ward. He was.
Oh, that's
Cam Ward isn't either. Apparently. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, rap is all on Jaden Daniels. Everybody else's butt.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's a problem though, is there's a real possibility that those 3, and I saw Sarah say that a lot of people say New England's not going to draft a quarterback, which they might not, but I just don't understand why.
If they don't feel like that's the thing, if they don't feel like their team is ready to win now, then I guess why draft your quarterback when you could trade that pick And
get
just
a
think
bunch
about
of
that.
picks.
Number 3 is going to be so freaking valuable, especially if
Right.
Jaden
It's
Daniels makes
possible.
that
That's
climb.
what we need.
That they're probably thinking, take the picks, build the team. You still have Mac Jones, like see what he can do one more year. And then if it doesn't work, then next year you're probably going to be in prime position to draft another quarterback.
Yeah,
So
but you're not.
I think it's actually smart on their point.
Could be, but this
or maybe getting Justin Fields.
And there's a possibility that like there is the Joe Miltons and there is the JJ McCarthy's and the Pennick. Like there's other quarterbacks that they might just think could be better, or at least like maybe like not that far off, where they're like, hey, we can draft our guy in the second round.
Yeah, that's also,
and it's a real possibility because this isn't just top heavy draft. This is
right.
I am the more I looked at this, I thought the draft was deeper last year. I am like now looking at it, I'm like, holy crap, this is
huge.
New England could get an absolute haul for pick number 3 and still get their quarterback in the second round. Like, so I could see that actually being a legitimate possibility. Rumor has it that we will trade at 5 to get a quarterback. If one of them makes it past 4,
is
I
that
think
the buzz?
I'm hoping so. I'm ready. Where's the draft? I'm ready for the draft right now.
But
it's not even the Super Bowl yet. But
yeah, right.
Wait, what would it take? What do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think it would take to get to the 4th or 5th pick? Let's say 5th.
The 5th pick. I feel like it's going to be if Jaden Daniels makes it past number 3, we're saving some capital.
Oh yeah, did you guys also hear that?
Obviously you do.
Denver,
but like.
I saw Sarah mention it. Denver, I guess they're willing to trade Patrick Surtain to get up and get a quarterback,
which isn't enough. That's not even enough. Like Patrick Surtain,
I saw that rumor or buzz pop up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Somewhere. But I think they said, well, they would include him in a package. I mean, because a team that needs a legitimate cornerback will take him plus some to move up. But
I think if we don't re-sign Kirk Cousins, this might be a good year to grab a free agent cornerback because there's like three or four cornerbacks, and assuming we also re-signed Danielle Hunter, there's like 3 or 4 pretty decent cornerbacks going into free agency. I have a feeling that's what we're going to do.
Why do you think it's better? Well, why do you think it's more apt to happen if we don't sign Kirk?
Well, if we don't sign
you extend Kirk, you actually free up cap space.
I was thinking with like the 45 million.
Oh.
But if you're doing 30 million, because you're saying you're pushing it down the road or whatever,
that's probably what would have to happen
if we were to re-sign Kirk Cousins, regardless. So yeah, I mean that is a good point. But I mean, because you could say hey, down the road we'll have more cap space. Well, and if you sign someone to more than a few years, like you can push. If you were to sign like a cornerback, you could push their first. You can give them more guaranteed, and you could push their contract down the road. It doesn't have to be necessarily Kirk's contract, which is going to make you have more money in the future as well.
And this is where I always wonder, because you're going to have free agents, so whether or not they're worried, they think we're actually winning team or they're just trying to take the money, is what kind of free agent wants to come to a team that does not have a quarterback going into the season? Like your quarterback right now is Nick Mullins. Like
well, there's a lot of them that, I mean, money.
Well, they're the different angles. One, I want money. 2, you actually think we got a good chance. Or 3, I want to play for this defensive coach.
Yeah.
Those are probably the 3 angles.
And I
want it to be one of the 2 that doesn't mean I took the money.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it'll be interesting because obviously if we end up moving on from Kirk Cousins or he moves on from Russ, however it goes out, obviously like there's going to be a backup plan. It's not going to be as good as Kirk Cousins from a veteran standpoint. Like we mentioned, like a Tannehill or something.
Grab Baker Mayfield. I would love
Baker Mayfield's going to probably get more money than Kirk Cousins is.
I don't know about more, but I think
he's going to get like 30.
What about the last show?
35 million.
Because my big thing with Baker is like people say you could bring him in for a year or 2.
What about Gardner?
I think
talk about him again.
I'm fine with Gardner Minshew.
He's a Pro Bowler now.
I think Baker Mayfield sees this as his opportunity to make some good money. So I think he's going to want like a 3-year deal with some.
Baker's not possible because you're going to be
a 1 or 2 year like bridge quarterback prove it deal. Last year was his 1 year prove it deal.
So we would have to trade.
He was getting $5 million. I think he got $5 million.
Is Tyler Huntley? Is he a free agent or we'd have to trade for him?
He was not a first round pick, right?
No.
Yeah, he had 4 years.
That's the thing about.
Oh.
Yeah,
Let's look him up. I'll look him up. You guys talk.
All right. Yeah, look him up because I know you guys were talking. I'd take Tyler Huntley for sure if he's a free agent or if he's for I don't know if he's a free agent or if is he up for trade. But yeah, definitely draft your quarterback. But I'm saying like if Kirk Cousins
still need a veteran.
Kirk Cousins isn't gone, then you're gonna need some sort of bridge quarterback unless you do get one of the top. Even Jaden Daniels, if you get Jaden Daniels, I think he's a guy like a cheap bridge guy to come in and even just to compete with. Get Jaden Daniels, I don't think you just give him the reins immediately.
Right. He like you would draft Jaden Daniels. You would sign somebody to come in.
He is a free agent.
And at the beginning of training camp, you would say the guy that we signed is the starter for now. He's getting the first team reps, and then once you're like midway through the preseason is when you'd switch to Jaden Daniels.
Let me understand this. There's a ton of people, I think even you, Rap, if you're listening, that wanted Tyler Huntley as like our starter. Like this is the guy we should go trade for to be our future starter.
Does
he drop like in everybody's eyes that hey, we should trade up and get a quarterback and we could go sign Tyler Huntley, right?
Yeah, I'd like that. I'll take Tyler. I would not take Tyler Huntley and bank that he's going to be our future quarterback. No. But it'd be like you draft your quarterback, you grab Tyler Huntley, and so honestly, it's
trade the assets and sign Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, he looks. What's that? Trade asset. Oh yeah, sign Tyler Huntley. Have some sort of bridge quarterback there. The thing with him is like,
how many starts does
Huntley have? Yeah, for sure. I mean, he hasn't had us unless he thinks he isn't coming here unless he really thinks unless he thinks he's going somewhere to be like the future starter.
Pro Bowl last year,
Tyler Huntley.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but obviously Gardner Minshew made the Pro Bowl this year. So
are we talking Russell Wilson or Zach Wilson? I would rather bring in Zach than Russell because I don't think Russell's vibe would match with anything.
I would bring in Russell Wilson if he really would take like the cheapest deal since he's going to
be making a ton of money. But
yeah, if I'm taking Russell Wilson, if he's going to give us like a $10 million a year deal because he's getting paid already.
If Russell Wilson's that fucking cheap, right?
Yeah, because you're taking him for sure. You'd be stupid.
Basically, can sign for the veteron minimum.
I don't think he'd fit with the team.
Who cares?
He's so
weird. Who cares? He ain't that weird. He ain't that weird.
No. Russell Wilson's freaking weird.
Nah, he ain't that weird. I don't care how weird you are. If you can pass the football, I'm taking him.
Kirk Cousins wears chains on the plane. Russell Wilson does his workouts on the plane. Does his stretches on the. Russell Wilson would not fit the vibe with this team. He would. I don't know.
I'm on team future. Well, that's the thing. If you get Russell Wilson, but if it's a 1 year Russell Wilson deal, I'm doing it no matter what.
I'm not.
I'm still drafting.
Russell Wilson's wild.
I'm still drafting your quarterback. If that's if he really would do that, I doubt he does. I doubt he'd be willing to just sign a really cheap contract since he's getting paid anyways. But maybe if Russell Wilson was to pay, if we got Russell Wilson for $10 million,
you stick it to the other team, man. You do that.
Nah, I'm doing it. I'm talking about the rapper Future. I'm team Future. Oh, I got you. Yeah, because the whole that's Sierra's ex. Yeah, that makes sense. No, either or. I mean, obviously Wilson is there's issues with Wilson that I have with him. Obviously, I mean, he seems like he's not a team player or whatever. I don't care. If he came in here on a 1 year contract and we didn't pay money, I don't care if you're weird. You're going to be a way better option than any other person.
You got to think about the future of the team in the locker room, man.
Nah, he ain't that bad. He ain't out there like people hating him. I don't think so. I think if you can get him for cheap, I'm taking him over like a $10 million. Come on. No, I am a heartbeat.
Russell Wilson's the one guy. He doesn't excite me. Nothing about him excites me.
I don't say he excites me for 10 million. Sorry. Taking him easily. It's not even a question.
Minshew for 5, I would take that instead.
No.
Absolutely.
No. Dude, Wilson is way better than Minshew. Way better.
I don't know.
Way better. Yes. I think he's way better for sure.
Maybe 2013 Russ. Or
No, right
2014
now.
Russ, 2015. No.
Right now, you could literally look at both their stats right now, and I guarantee you his is a lot better.
Like
How
career
about-
stats,
how
I'm
about-
sure. Yeah.
No, right now, this past year.
How about this? Everybody was saying, "Hey, don't let the Christian Ponder scare you off from drafting a quarterback." And here we are, sitting at 11, which we picked him at 12. And 3 top quarterbacks were off the team, and here we're sitting at 11, and we just take a quarterback. This is the exact scenario. People said, "Don't let it scare you to take a quarterback." This is almost the exact scenario.
No, I want definitely go grab your quarterback first and foremost. But if Russell Wilson is willing to give you like a super cheap deal,
Do you trade down?
I'm thinking that.
Or do you
If we
just
don't,
what do you do?
if we don't get one of the top 3s or whatever,
Yeah, so my thoughts were
it's tough.
Yeah, my thoughts were like, okay, you're sitting at 11. Maybe you can these scenarios, guys. This is not exactly what I want, so don't freak out. Take a best player available, and then move up from the second round to the first, like we did Bridgewater, and get your 5-year contract on whatever you think is the best quarterback at that point. You get 2 really good players, and you get both, players in need. It's a great situation. The other one would be to trade down, accumulate some picks, and then take your quarterback. Or one of these guys just shocks the shit out of you, and he gets up there, and you're like, "Oh, he's still here at 11? Let's take him." So I guess there's those scenarios. There might be a quarterback that leaps up, and it becomes the 4th guy or the 5th, or even the
Which
5th.
Penix almost was until the national championship game. Like people were looking at him like, I'll take him at 11, but then I mean that game he was just, I think it's just being rattled on the biggest stage is just, that part is is scary. Like if
He
you
won
went
some
out there
big games this year, though.
Yeah, he did.
Bo Nix won some
definitely
big games this year.
Yeah, they both did. I mean, he really
Bo Nix
did.
destroyed Colorado, or at least Oregon destroyed Colorado.
Right. But yeah, no, to your point, like it's tough. If there's like a no miss player at 11, I think you just gotta pull the trigger probably, unless I like get through this process. No, non-quarterback. You were mentioning
the best player available.
Yeah. And it was like, man, this guy was supposed to be picked already or whatever. And if I felt good,
or what, Marvin
Harrison Jr. Pick
I've
another
been
wide
him
receiver.
Harrison Smith Jr. all day.
Pick another wide receiver. That'd be crazy. But no, so I would do that. If I don't know, see, that's the thing is I'm not convinced I haven't looked yet. I haven't really done my due diligence yet to like look at these other quarterbacks and be like, no, I really like Bo Nix or Penix or JJ McCarthy mid first round. And if we trade back and we can grab that guy, like I would probably want to do that. But like right now where I stand, I would say you probably just get a position of need and then maybe trade up with your second, or maybe one of your guys falls close to the second or something. I don't know. But I wouldn't be. I'm not.
JJ turned 21.
JJ Vikings.
JJ McCarthy.
Oh,
when does he turn 21?
Too many JJs in this Viking world, man. I thought he is 21 now, isn't he?
No, well, he wasn't. Let me see.
He might have just.
JJ McCarthy's birthday. Google
is.
Oh, he is 21.
When did he turn 21?
Happy birthday, January 20th. Happy birthday, JJ McCarthy.
That is crazy, though. So that's the interesting thing. If he would have stayed back in college, I mean, who knows where he's.
So this is my.
He's a big question mark. He's a huge
looking at him
in this
like,
draft.
oh my god, this guy, Michigan's going to be good with this guy for a while. That would be like, oh my god, this guy is going to be really good. But he's leaving. He's 21 years old. It's like, meh. It's like there's a couple guys right now that are top of the world, and they're only 24, 25 years old right now. So.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been in the league 4 years.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. So that's why I think that's the reason why people are worried about these like 24, 25-year-old quarterbacks, because some of the ones that like really start killing in the NFL, they're about that age when they
Hartman's
do
a
it.
6-year senior.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would prefer not to go old at quarterback if we don't have. That's why I'm like kind of leaning JJ McCarthy. I don't know if I pick him before those guys, but if you were right now, a lot of people would have him at the early second round pick. And if like let's say just that's how everything rolled out and he was there early second round, I think that's what I would do right now is I'd use my 11th to pick whoever to pick our guy and then
One like you,
grab
man.
JJ McCarthy early second round.
It would be a good move. It would not be a bad move.
No.
I don't think.
And then if JJ, obviously you have to give him time, some sort of time. But if it's early, it's like in a year or two, and you're like, he's just not going to be it. Like you didn't give up any assets to move up to grab him. You got him as a second round pick. You're not married to him. And then if you feel like you want your guy's there and you need to make that decision, like it's a possibility. So I think it's like it'd be a safe move. And McCarthy could be, he could be a Brock Purdy type of player who's just, he plays his best in the biggest moments. And that matters a lot. That's Tom Brady. Look, that's Patrick Mahomes, except for Patrick Mahomes got all the skill and shit with it. Which is stupid, but
for JJ McCarthy to be a Brock Purdy, you have to go to a team that allows him to be a Brock Purdy. That allows him to just distribute the football to a bunch of talented playmakers.
Which we do have.
But not to the I guess it's funny because everyone talks about like the ferocious 49ers defense, and their defense has been pretty bad as of late. They made some big stops when they had to.
Who?
Obviously, the 49ers
the
defense.
49ers.
They haven't been as dominant as they have in years past.
Well, yeah, obviously you're talking about like, maybe JJ McCarthy's on the field or not on the field a lot. I guess how would that work? Like for a quarterbacks, your defense obviously is nice to have, but is that going to having a bad defense? Is that going to mess up with your like development? Because he has all the weapons in the world: Jordan Addison, JJ, TJ Hawkinson.
Right, but a lot of times when they talk about player going to a team, they're like, this quarterback, he's going to be in a good scenario. That team has a really good defense too. It helps. Obviously, because you feel like you can take more chances if you don't pick up a first down. You know your defense is going to be
right. You don't have as much on your shoulders.
Right,
though I do feel like JJ McCarthy could be. That's what so far watching him that I like is he seems like the guy that steps up in those moments. That could be the big difference between him and a lot of these other quarterbacks. Even if he doesn't have all the intangibles, but he still can throw the ball well, and he definitely has that ability to improvise when the pocket breaks down and extend the play with his arm, and he can use his legs and all that kind of stuff. So,
and he
I like what I saw from him more than I expected.
He didn't have a lot of help playing in in the Big Ten, where it is kind of predicated on running the football too. So
yeah, but who knows? All that kind of stuff could you scream game manager. Big time. That's the thing you're taking with him. It's like, hey, you could have this Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Brock Purdy-ish type style player, or he's, a Jimmy Garoppolo or.
It was crazy when Kirk Cousins went down. He was like single digits away from passing Joe Montana in touchdowns.
He can't throw deep, dude. I've seen some. There's some throws that JJ McCarthy made that were pretty deep. I don't know. I'm not convinced on Drake May, Chi-Town Vikings. I think sometimes some players, they can just be too safe.
Well, M. Sullivan talking about we need a QB on a 5-year deal. Well, the 5th-year deal on a QB, you take the top, average of the top 5 players or top 10?
Yeah. And wasn't it like, because I think like before, wasn't it like guaranteed like against injury, and now it's like fully guaranteed for that 5th-year option, I think? Because I know they said the value of the 5th-year option isn't what it used to be because of the guarantees that come with it or something.
Well, it's which is it? You're not saving a whole lot of money anymore with that 5th-year option, and if you take him in the second round, you also are getting a first-round player with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it said, let's see. So the 2020 NFL collective bargaining agreement changed how 5th-year options operate. The modifications first started applying to 2018. 5th-year options are fully guaranteed upon exercise instead of being guaranteed for injury only. So, yeah.
What
so
about
basically,
how are they figured, though?
It's
like top 5 or 10 or something, isn't it?
Chi-Town, one thing about JJ McCarthy though is that
Basic
offense
playtime, one
wasn't
Pro
the
Bowl.
offense wasn't set up for him or for that. Which is, hey, JJ McCarthy could be nothing more than a game manager,
Ooh,
but
so it's based on
sure.
position, playing time, Pro Bowl selection, starting off with players making 2 or more Pro Bowls. 5th-year option is the same as a franchise tag salary at their position from the previous year. Really?
Which
Wow.
is top 5. Yeah.
Think so.
Well,
yeah.
you'd have to make
Yep,
Pro
the
Bowl.
5, which is the average of the 5 highest salaries for a player's position in the 4th year. Of
What if
his
he doesn't make 2 Pro Bowls? Does it say?
Well, then I just don't think that you get the 5th-year option is the same as franchise tag salary at their position if they make 2. Otherwise, I don't think it's that. I think it's just the top 5. Yeah, I guess I don't know. It's confusing.
interesting. That's as stupid as a Pro Bowl. They shouldn't even use the Pro Bowl.
Because then
Well,
it's
then
fifth
everybody
year, like,
makes
Pro Bowl
40
doesn't matter anymore.
There's
I
like
could go in
$48
there and make the
million.
Pro Bowl probably.
If he makes 2 Pro Bowls, then his 5th year option is $48 million. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I mean, it's like assuming. Obviously, you know, you've hit on a good quarterback if this is the scenario.
I wish they would take the quarterback out of the salary cap and you pay him whatever you can, whatever you want, and then
That
the
would
rest
be
of the
sweet.
team.
That would be sweet. I
Be
know.
some shitty quarterbacks making some serious cash.
Yeah. I know. I wish there was something you could do to kind of.
You know, isn't there a thing like with the NBA where you have a player that's played with you for so long that you get like extra cap room kind of thing?
Well, isn't that like the Supermax deals or whatever based on like all pro team, like how many all pros you're voted to? And I guess there's weird things with NBA contracts that I don't.
I would
fully-
think, you know, if you got a guy that's been on your team a while, that you'd be like getting some sort of, hey, you know, it's unfair that because we're good, we have to be shitty again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they should really do something like that, especially with quarterbacks.
Unless, like, obviously, if you take Tom Brady's route, who like keeps his contract, like he literally to make the team, even though he still.
I know
didn't
why
have a
people
real
use Tom
true
Brady
number one wide receiver.
when Drew Brees is probably a better deal because that dude was only making like $10 million.
Yeah, he's another example. He's another example. Know who isn't a good example?
Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is, but even though Patrick Mahomes, obviously, I mean,
the
still
14
does it.
other guys ahead of Kirk Cousins.
yeah. Hey, I wasn't talking about Kirk Cousins.
You weren't talking about Kirk.
No, not
Yeah.
at all. I was talking about Daniel Jones.
Hey, let's talk about Detroit.
Daniel Jones.
That is a good point, Daniel Jones,
Some-
man.
Let's talk about Detroit. What's going? You know, their OC didn't take a job, or he took his name out of the hat, so they're going to have a decent OC again, or a good one. Their Goff is last
Yeah,
year
what's
of his
his-
contract.
Oh, he is. It'd be interesting. I wonder how they feel about Hendon Hooker because I did like him a lot.
Yeah, that's
coming
true.
in,
He's
and
their
they still
backup.
have him, but obviously they got to feel like
And that's the thing for Joe Milton. Joe Milton's been sitting behind, him.
yeah,
His
right.
Career, so
And then when Joe Milton, I know, like that's the thing is that Joe Milton came in and he was also looking pretty
his
good.
stats last year are ridiculous.
Yeah, and then he had all that hype, and I didn't look at his production this past season, but
It's like
obviously it must not have been
2,700
that
yards. It
great.
wasn't-
Yeah.
It wasn't the greatest.
Obviously, you're gonna lose some when you lose Jalen Hyatt or Jalen.
Yeah,
Hyatt,
that's what I was
correct?
saying. They lost their best receiver, and
Yeah.
Didn't they lose? They lost 2 of their best receivers.
Yeah,
didn't
they did. Who's the other guy? I forgot
Was
who
it
the other guy was.
Cedric Tillman.
Yep, Cedric Tillman. Yep, that was the other
Yeah.
one.
Yep.
I don't know who they're. I mean, maybe they.
that's a
swapped
guy
around,
that
but-
could have used another year.
Yeah.
You
Probably. Yeah.
That's why I want to start watching some of
I
the
don't wanna
interviews of these guys. Like, I'm not completely impressed with Bo Nix's interviews. He's not. I don't know. Not bad. And I haven't really listened to JJ McCarthy, but I assume he's good. The way you guys talk about him.
He just seems he seems like he'd be like a stand-up kid. I mean, he's a young kid, obviously. So I don't know. There's going to be a big question mark because you didn't get to see him play in the best offense to show his talents the best, but he's also only barely 21 years old.
Did he say he's going to go home and cuddle with his dog in a post game?
No, all he said when he lost, all he said the last time he lost a game was "We'll be back."
And then he
Honestly,
came back
the last
and
time
won.
he lost,
It was.
the last time he
Like
lost
him.
the game, he said "We'll be back."
Well,
And
that's what I'm
guess
saying. Like
he was back.
You can't teach.
I'm putting JJ McCarthy number 1.
Yeah.
Bears, sign the deal.
Let's go. I'm picking him at number 11 now. No, it's honestly that is a really important aspect, but that doesn't mean anything. That could
because
end up
Jaron
just
Hall
being-
is like that. Jaron
Yeah,
Hall
yeah.
is a good interview.
Right, for sure. But hey, let's get ready to give this card away. Again, Jordan Addison rookie card. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be giving away this pretty quick here. Hey, we got Sodak in the building. What up, Sodak? Stop talking about Bo Nix.
I just said
haven't
something
looked into
negative
Bo Nix,
about
though.
Bo Nix. I thought you'd like that.
I haven't looked into Bo Nix. The only thing I know about him is I just don't like that he is older.
He just told you not
And
to
it-
talk about Bo Nix.
And he told
And you talk about Bo Nix.
Stop
Bo Nix,
talking
Bo
about
Nix,
Bo
Bo
Nix.
Nix.
Bo Nix.
He's got a cool name.
Bo Nix.
I mean,
Bo Nix. It's not. Hey, sometimes
I don't want to have to
good
misspell
names hold
Penix
weight
every
sometimes.
single day. I've misspelled Penix 3 times now.
Or the X is very close to the S button on a keyboard, so you might end up typing another word that you don't
Oh
want to
yeah,
type to somebody.
I forget who it was, but
Someone said,
he
"I
tweeted a big time
I love
Twitter
Bo.
user, a Vikings Twitter user said penis on the. He typed out. Oh, you know who it was? It was ML Football. ML Football tweeted out instead of Michael Penix, he put Michael Penis.
I love my two favorite quarterbacks is Michael Penis and Bo Dix. The 2 best quarterbacks in this draft. Someone's gonna.
We have reached that point of the show.
I didn't even think about that.
Bo Dix, and Michael Penis.
But at least the X and the S are close to each other. That would be a lot more easier to mess up.
Yeah, you ain't mixing
did.
it. You did it on purpose if you mix that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, ML Football, 40,000 followers on Twitter put in Michael Penis. It was hilarious.
All right, I'm bringing it up. Let's get. Hey, you have to be here to win. Everybody knows the rules. Don't waste your time, Jamie. I have to know. I need to know if he's bad because I don't want to sound like an idiot when I talk about him. Let's get this card away. I'm just gonna do a 3, 2, 1. Got to be here to win. Y'all know the rules. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, missed the button. Who do we got? Got to be here to win. Got to be here to win. And we've got boom, 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 boom. Sullivan.
Hey.
Sullivan, you still in here?
Sully.
Oh,
He
you
tweeted. Commented 2 minutes ago, so I'm sure he's still here.
Skol.
You could sign T. Higgins and Nate Davis cheaper, and then that JJ will cost.
I gotta keep JJ. I'm keeping
Yeah.
JJ.
We ain't.
I don't think it's not a rebuild to me. I think they're gonna stick with the whole competitive rebuild thing. And to me, that means you get a quarterback on a 5-year contract and you have good talent around him.
Mhm.
So instead of a 3-year deal or a 3-year plan, it was an 8-year plan.
3 to 5 year.
3-year plan. 3-year plan to clear out the money. sort of.
Hey, Sullivan. Hey, I don't know. Have you won a card before, Sullivan? I don't know. You might have. It's been a minute if you did.
And if not, just find us on Twitter.
Find us on Twitter. I'm gonna put our email in here. Yeah. I forgot we're on your contract or your page. But yeah, go to our email. Email us there. If not, find us on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Comment under a video. Anything you got to do. I know we're looking for Norfius still because I owe him a card as well. So Norris, if you watch this, email us, bro.
Absolutely. Anything else? Anything else, fellas, before we call it an evening?
Super.
Are we going to talk about anything else other than quarterbacks rest of the year? We'll come up with something new next week.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think we should look at some of the other positions of need as well, like defensive line, interior, edge rusher, because who knows, Daniil might not be back. Like, yeah, I think those would be fun positions to talk about because there's a lot of talent there too. Like, there's some top end talent, so I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, true. We could do something like that.
Or we could just wait till after March 15th or something like that.
Right. You never know. But obviously, quarterbacks are going to be Kickers. Yes, there we
And
go.
as soon as the season ends, it's going to be nothing but what's going to happen with Kirk Cousins. As soon as Super Bowl
I
is
think we
over,
should snag Detroit's kicker. Give him a chance.
yeah, actually be
Give
able to
him
use
a
it.
chance over there.
Let him kick.
Or bring Dan Campbell over here so he doesn't give Greg Joseph a chance.
Let's go get Harmon Tedesco from Blue Mountain State to be our kicker. I'm all in on that kid.
Let's go.
Who's that? There's a TikToker, the Destroyer or whatever. He just signed with UFL.
Him and JJ are close. Maybe JJ can get him to bring him in here. Never know. But anything else, fellas?
I think that is it.
All right, cool.
Congrats, Sullivan. Yeah, hit us up. I'll get this card out to you right away, man.
Well, we appreciate everybody for hopping in. We'll be back next week on GG Sports Podcast channel for the stream next week. Thanks everybody for hopping in. See you next time.
Skol.